Hello and welcome back to the podcast. My name is Angela Brooks, and you can learn more about me at angelabrook.com. Today, I want to talk about conversational selling, and the way to boost your sales is simple, but we all make it just a little bit hard, especially in the beginning. I've had a lot of response to conversational selling, and um, I just wanted to bring it to you here on the podcast because I'd love to hear your feedback for one, to see if this is something that you struggle with, because I have found that the biggest thing for our business is having conversations with other human beings, which is also the hardest thing for people to do. So, um, having a conversation the other day, it made me think of the blog post. You can read this blog post over on the blog as well. That small, chatty conversation, that you have with somebody that you don't really know, and you're nodding your head and you're smiling, trying to be polite. I'm just not that gal. I don't do small, chatty conversation well. The moment that you hear yourself say 10 wows and 5, oh, really? Um, 3 side looks over at your watch or your phone to see what time it was, like you really cared what time it was, you're in the middle of small talk. And if you're doing a lot of bouncing around, you're not engaged in the conversation, it's not taking you anywhere. And while you're in those little small conversation type things, you're usually thinking about scrubbing the bathroom floor with an old worn out toothbrush in the back of your mind. It's so painful because when you're having a good conversation with somebody, it flows and it's a dialogue, it's back and forth. But the moment it becomes a one sided and you're just listening to somebody else ramble, it gets pretty painful for just about anybody. Um, you can feel the life draining out of your body through your pinky toe, one soul sucking nod at a time. It's just hard. And some days it's just way too peoply out there for me. And don't take me wrong, I like to talk to a lot of people. I like to meet new people, but I like to have dialogue conversation where it's not, let me tell you all about me and then try to sell you something. Because if you've been in network marketing in any kind of sales industry, you see it coming before it even happens. And, that's that hey girl stuff that, you know, say something in the beginning of a conversation that you really actually want to get to know me before you say, hey girl, I got this thing on my mind and I think it reminds me of you. You're going to be awesome at this. How do you know I'm going to be awesome? How do you know I even give two shits to be awesome? Was it me or was it my Visa card you were after? Most of the conversations are after the Visa card, and you can smell them, feel them, or know who it is immediately. And it just doesn't feel good. It's not dialogue. It's not good conversation that makes you want to lean in. I would prefer somebody to come up to me and just do straight talk. Yes, I'm a red personality, and I know the yellow personalities would absolutely freak out over even thinking about doing that. But you need to see if what you have to offer is even a benefit for the person that you're having the conversation with. Um, does this person that you're trying to sell lipstick to even wear lipstick? Um, my company, like everybody else's company, has a Black Friday sale. And it's way better if you come up to somebody and say, hey, look, my company is having a Black Friday sale on blank, whatever that is. And I just wanted to know if that's something that you would like me to grab you a couple of before we sell out, because we always do. And we had that conversation before. Um, they can say no, and it's totally fine. No problem whatsoever. I just wanted to check because this stuff does sell out. You and I had a conversation, and you just popped in my mind. Somebody will appreciate that a whole lot better than trying to sell me ruby red lipstick that wouldn't even make it to my bathroom drawer, because I don't wear ruby red lipstick. It just feels less uncomfortable to me to come out and just ask a question, even on social media, in your messages. Just say, hey, I know this is random. Just wanted to ask you this question. People respond to that way better than me drilling them with 5 planned out questions that I'm going to pitch somebody with at the end of question number 5. I had a conversation with a lady this week. Lovely conversation. We were chatting back and forth. We had a lot in common. And then all of a sudden, my intuition felt a little bit different because I could feel her coming in for the kill. And I just paused her right there. I said, I am getting the impression that you are wanting to have this conversation with me to get me into some kind of coaching group or something. And I just want to let you know up front, I'm not looking for that. Thank you for the conversation. If that's what this was all about, I'll end it right here. I'm very direct that way because I just don't have the patience for, well, let me tell you what this can do for you. I'm not looking for it, so it's not going to do anything for me. So that's where I wrote the blog post about network marketing getting a bad rep for having the old cold conversations with people who want nothing from you other than a sale. And, we can clean our industry up if people will learn how to be human, have real conversations. Number one, I like to have a conversation with somebody, first of all, just to see if I want to have conversation number 2, because you're not going to make the sale on the first conversation. It's rare. There's going to be people out there that, yes, that they do this, and they're not going to tell you that that person they signed up on the first conversation quit in 7 days. They won't tell you that. They're just going to tell you that they signed people up on the first conversation, which is kind of gross to me. But anyway, my favorite is when you're having a pleasant conversation and that person that you're having a conversation with realizes that you're not going to take the bait. And all of a sudden they look down at their watch or their phone, whatever, and they say, oh my gosh, I'm running late. I've got an important meeting I've got to run to. Well, first of all, that line was so 2010 or older. That's what everybody was doing, was be in a hurry, be busy, hang up on people, stop the conversation and walk off. Oh my God, that pisses me off so bad. It's like, really? I have lots of things to say. I just won't. Just take a slow, deep breath and try not to cuss anybody. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to stop that cold conversation. And if you're having a conversation with somebody on the topic that your product or your service would benefit them, then mention it. Say you said something about having chronic headaches. I don't know if this is for you. I use peppermint for headaches and also use Stress Away. That might be something you want to try. If not, no big deal. It's just easier to come out and say, this is the product I have. This is what it does for me. You might want to try it. If not, it's okay. Most of the time, if somebody is really looking for a solution, they're going to ask more questions and you can just go with it from there. But if they don't ask another question, you can read their body language and they're going, that's nice. Then don't say anything else. Don't try to be a jackhammer salesperson. There's somebody that maybe they're talking about how stressed out of their job they are, or they're working super long hours and they wish they had something else, but they didn't know what else they wanted to do. That's a conversation that you're going, well, I don't know if this is for you or not. This is what I do. If you want to talk about it, we can. If not, I hope you find what you're looking for. I have that kind of conversation several times a week on LinkedIn, because people are looking for things that make them happy instead of just working a job. But when you present that, stop talking. Allow the person to process and think, and let them say yes or nay. They are the ones that's going to carry the conversation to the next level, is if they ask a question, if they seem interested, or whatever their next statement is how that conversation is going to flow. Yes, you can jackhammer sales it and turn it around and pull them in. I'm not into pulling dead bodies into my business, because if I pull them in, if I talk them into it, then I've got to talk them into the next step that they take as well. So let them respond. If the answer is no, it's okay. It's totally okay. Just follow up with them, stay in touch with them. And I'll talk about that in another podcast. You've planted the seed in their mind, and you can just stay in touch and learn to ask good questions on the conversations that they're already having. And they're going to remember what you said to them. They're going to remember that you had an opportunity, a product, whatever. So no sales, let the conversation develop. Now, I know there's going to be some people out there that disagree with me. That's fine. Do you, boo? I don't care how you do your conversation. But if you're struggling having conversations with people, I would encourage you to do conversational selling. This approach forces you to slow down and listen. You stop talking about it so that there's not a wall coming up. And you can tell when there's a wall starting to build. Back up. If you back up and stop the wall growth, then there could be a little bit more conversation. But if you keep jackhammering at this person, that wall will go up and you'll never have another conversation with them. So there's no need to become a machine gun question asker. Ask good questions, but don't just drill somebody with questions. As soon as somebody asks me the third question, it kind of gets annoying. It's like, what is it you want? Because if the questions aren't going along with the conversation that we're having, yeah, it has a different purpose. So many people mention their business and then go straight for the juggler. After this podcast, I hope that's not you, because people feel like they're pressured and they're under attack and they start backing up. Actually, some people like me, we take off running. So conversational sales gives you time to see if there is something to help them lean in or if it's making them back up. It gives you time to take a breath, them to take a breath and inhale what you said. So, just be very observant of what kind of conversation you had and the responses that people are giving you. I have a download ebook workbook that you can grab. You can go to Angela Brook, ANGELABROOK.com/links, LINKS. And there is a download that you can grab that gives you some ideas and conversations that you can have. It says copy and paste. I highly don't encourage you to copy and paste. I want you to grab that book and use it as a mental dialogue to get conversation started, and just be deliberate and different by design will improve your sales. Sales is not a scary thing. It's not hard. It's not bad. And what it is, it becomes a pressured overwhelm to people when they see you coming. Allow people to be comfortable in your presence and with your conversation, and you're going to have so much better results. If you're looking for a business and you're not in one, I would love to have that conversation with you to see if what I do works for you. If not, I hope to see you on the next podcast. You can go to angelabrook.com/work with me. And there's an application you can fill out. And all that is to have a conversation to see if we like each other enough to even have a business partnership. So this is Angela Brooks. I will see you on the next podcast, and we're going to continue talking about conversational selling.